G'day traders, welcome to wrap up of November 2nd, Wednesday. Started today with a bit of a bias to the downside. It wasn't clear either way, but definitely the last couple of days on the dailies we've been having a sell-off. And the bias haven't been really strong lately, so I thought there was a chance that definitely the sellers could come in this morning. So the market opened up, that's the way it did. It went down, but you can see here, not with any conviction. You see, even though it's moving down, it's not pushing through these power points. It's basically bouncing off them, but in a downwards fashion. Then a pullback here to this power point here. So caught off in this first pullback in the direction of the daily bias is a good one. But like I said before, because this maybe wasn't pushing through like you'd like to see, if there was power on the downside, meant that maybe this one here, even though a lot of the other markets were looking like on the downside, not the best of opportunities, but in saying that, and not something to definitely be aware of. From there we pushed on. We actually got a buy signal on the 5-minute right about here. So this is a bit of a no man's area. Unsure whether the market want to push up or push down. The yesterday's close is actually down around 12.24 as well, so that's a bit of an attraction. So I thought up here there's a power point. So if the market did want to push up and indicate that the buyers are around and get out of this kind of sideways action here, a chance that the market was going to push up. So it came up to that power fade entry, then pulled back, and then it was actually that second one where it came back again, where those buyers came. So eventually they did come pushing up. So I guess this power fade here, definitely want to look at too if you weren't looking at the previous one. And from there the markets just continue to push up. They've stalled at the top here. So the 12.38 area proved quite a strong resistance area. And then from there wasn't a lot of price action. We saw over the next hour and a half the price pretty much went sideways, because today was an FOMC announcement, which you can see over here came at 12.30. That's where that price action is there. So basically from mid-morning to that announcement, the market's just gone along sideways. I guess everyone's kind of hanging back, waiting to see what the FOMC wants to do. That announcement came out, no major surprises I suppose. Quite often you can see when this announcement comes out, the market just goes really quite crazy and can move 10-20 points, but just pushed around a little bit and continue to push down. So just evident that the sellers are around. There's a bit of bad news going around in the market, so this is pushing the market down further. Heading down to that blue line there, which is the gap. So in the end, that it was always going to prove a magnet, and it was very likely that eventually the market's going to come down and grab that. So this area here, I guess in this particular, this is a great area for a sell opportunity, because on the 5-minute chart, everything's pointing down. You've got the moving average pointing down, the predictive crossing down. We've broken a lot of buyers' support that we previously had, and you also got that yesterday's close as an attraction. So that, very highly likely that the market's going to come down here, which it did. Just a matter of finding the right entry. So once the market's broken this yesterday's close, it's pulled back and it's come back at the close again, or back towards the lows. So I thought there was a chance, if you're real game, this power fade here to push down, and even push down again, like really have a go and make lower lows, since the sellers are definitely around. But that previous cash low held up again. Then the market pulled back a bit, had a bit of another go at the lows, but at this stage there's another 5-minute sell here. I'm not so much a fan of these sells. I'll show you on the 5-minute chart soon, but you can see here it's already had a go at the lows and then pulled back. So when it's coming back a second time, usually there's less power, and you can see in the end the sellers haven't managed to push low, and the buyers have come back in and taken control. So that 5-minute would have been a failure. So the market starts to push up again. So it's this stage up around here, and this one here is not a bad pullback power point. If you're looking for pullbacks, any area here would be a good area, because once again on the 5-minute chart, everything's crossed over to the buyer's side. We've broken this area here, which was pretty much the last of the buyers' resistant areas. So once the market's broken up there, it's evident that the buyers are then back in town. So a couple of pullback opportunities. The market's pushed up, so it's looking like it wants to head back up and have a go at those highs. We got fairly close to the cash market highs, pulled up about 3 points short, and then started to pull back again. So this area here, even though it started to pull back, I thought definitely the buyers could come back in at some stage, maybe a bit of an opportunity for a 5-minute fade, but in the end it just kept pulling back and then ended up closing in mid-range. Alright, so here's the 5-minute chart. So there's the two opportunities. So here's this one earlier on that where the market pushed down and we started to push back up. So we thought the sellers were around, but then it started to push back up. A few of the other markets started to change to the upside as well. But when the signal came, it was right in between quite a bit of price action, I suppose. It wasn't in a really good entry area. So this is one where I talked about where maybe you could take the entry a little bit higher and give you that evidence that the buyers are around, and then look for the push up, and it pull back again and then pushed up. So an area the buyers were around, just the entry was fairly tough. And then this is this other one down here. You can see it's quite choppy. This was a sell, but the market's pulled back. It's going for lows. So if you get this kind of opportunity the first time it's heading towards the lows, that's the time to take it. Once it's then having a second go or third go at the lows, they can work, but just from my previous studies, I've found that the percentage of the strike rate is a lot lower. So you definitely want to get it when it's having a go that first time. So that's the kind of one that I don't really like to take on, and left alone, and it would have stopped out and pushed the market back up. Righto, that's the wrap up.